Okay, reference footage. What is it? Reference footage is simply a video of the action you want to animate. In the same way a painter might look at a bowl of fruit so they know what they want to paint, an animator should be looking at footage of motion or reference so they can see what is actually happening in the action they want to animate. Even better than finding reference is shooting reference of your own. That way you are in creative control of the action and you also physically feel what it's like to perform the action, and that muscle memory will filter through into your work. Also, we're creating a plan, and planning is a huge part of animation. It is extremely rare to just dive into a piece of animation without thinking about it first. The time we spend planning now will save us a lot of backwards and forwards as we move through the process. I've used reference that I've either shot of myself or I've found online, if it was for an animal for example, to create all of my best work. If I fail to shoot reference or find reference, my work will always suffer. So I'd recommend whenever you're doing a piece of animation, either shoot some reference of yourself or find some reference online. So in order to do the reference for the 3-point landing, I appreciate I could have found one from the thousands of superhero movies there are out there, but this is a class and I want to show you the whole process. So I went out into the garden and I got a pair of step ladders and I jumped off it a bunch of times and tried to do the best superhero landing that I could. You can find that reference in the Projects and Resources section. So either use the reference that I've provided, find some online, or even better, get out there and shoot some reference of your own. And a few techie things, I've set the frame rate to be 24 frames a second, that's so it matches the frame rate of film, and that's the frame rate we will be setting our project to. And I made sure that I had a good angle that frames the whole motion. I don't want to lose the top of my head when I jump from the ladder or anything like that. So make sure you set it up so you can see everything that you want to animate. Okay, so with all that said, let's check out some reference.
So here we go. So for the first few goes, really you're just getting a feel for it. You're getting over the nerves of being in front of the camera. Even if there's nobody watching, you'll often find you get a little bit nervous and just trying to get comfortable. So don't stress too much about getting it right for the first few goes. We can totally work up to that. But just start getting a feel for it. I'm going to start jumping off a few times. I'm trying to figure out what feels good even in these first few takes.
Okay, so I had a look and they started off pretty poor, let's be honest, but they slowly got better. I'm going to have another crack though, I'm going to keep going because I'd like to try and get a much stronger, snappier feeling at the end. So it feels like it's all about the timing of when the left arm swings out and trying to get that locked feeling, trying to make it feel strong and punchy. So yeah, I'm just going to try and do as many as it takes to get it right. Okay, here we go.
So after looking at the first takes, you'll have a much better idea of what is and isn't working, and you can start to adjust accordingly. You'll start to feel which takes are close to what you're looking for, and I'd always say keep going even if you think you've nailed it. An extra few takes only takes a few more minutes, and you might catch something even better.
Okay, so getting closer, I feel like I've got some nice snappy bits and I've got some nice jumping bits, but I don't have a nice jump and a nice snappy arm. So I'm going to go for a big high jump. It felt like that was much nicer to see a big launch off the top of the ladder, and then I'm going to go for a nice clean and crunchy landing. So this will be take 3. Let's see if I can make it work.
If you've been keeping count, you'll know that I've already done 12 takes, and yet we keep on going. As I continue to practice these, they're getting closer and closer to the look I'm going for. And remember, this is only for a simple jump to the ground, and I'm still going to end up with around 20 takes. As you progress as an animator and move on to more complicated motions or performances, you might end up doing even more, but that's great. Somewhere in there you'll hopefully have a version that gives you a clear vision of what you want to animate. And it's a whole lot quicker than animating those many versions until you get the one you are looking for. So here we go, I'm going to keep going, jumping off of these ladders until I feel like I've hit what I'm after.
Alright, excuse me, it's hard work being a superhero, but I think I got something. I've got a nice big jump, nice strong landing, nice grass stained knees. So let's take this footage now and take it into Maya. Alright, see you in the next lesson. Cheers.